Tea time now is 18 minutes past 8. It can be an anxious time for parents as they begin the process of applying for school places for their children.
Many will be breathing a sigh of relief, safe in the knowledge that their child will attend a local school. Others, though, will face disappointment and uncertainty about their child's education.
Yes, research by an admissions website has found that demand for places at oversubscribed primary schools in England has led to several hundred schools having catchment areas extending less than 500 metres from their gates. Our education correspondent Robert Piggott reports.
We start with number 1.
They're doing their sums at Weston Park Primary in Crouch End in London. These are the lucky ones, the 30 children who got into the school last September. 339 applied for what were, after priority was given to siblings, just 6 places. Parents who plan for years and buy houses they can barely afford are being disappointed.
When people buy a house, and certainly we've had families who have looked around with babies in pushchairs, sometimes people still being pregnant when they come to look and buy a house, having to invest an extortionate amount of money into that property, and we don't have a crystal ball. We can't say how many places will be available. So it is a big gamble that people are taking with a lot of money.
Like other oversubscribed schools, places at Weston Park are allocated according to how far away you live. For the last 2 years, it's meant having to have a house within 120 metres of the school. It means that a child living in this house could get in, and another one living just a few feet away in this house could not, even though you can see the school from the front door. To get a coveted place at St Luke's Church of England Primary School in Kingston upon Thames, parents are prepared to attend the local church twice a month for a year.
Simply turning up and sitting through a service doesn't constitute being a Christian.
Competition became so tense that the vicar required parents to sign a register to prove they'd attended. It made him so uneasy that the church has controversially abandoned attendance at services as a condition for entry. The register revealed that the faith of many parents was, anyway, only skin deep.
It caused distress to some of my other parishioners who said people were only coming to tick the box. And unfortunately, the evidence of the register was that over the 4-year period, 80% of those who signed the register stopped attending within a month of being awarded a place.
Ed Rushton was one parent who struggled to find a house in London where he could rely on a good primary school for his children.
And this shows you where you would have needed to live to get a place at the school in 2015.
His new FindASchool guide, launched by 192.com this morning, shows how close you've had to live to a school in recent years to get a place. Mr. Rushton says there's a lot at stake for parents.
There continue to be black holes where parents can't get into their local school, can't get into the next nearest school, and then end up in the ridiculous situation of having to send their kids several miles away to a school that they didn't choose and they don't particularly want them to go to.
There are almost 400 schools in England where only children living within 500 metres got a place last year. Hundreds attend open days at Weston Park, including pregnant women and others with newborn babies. When the race matters so much, you can't start early enough. Robert Piggott, BBC News, Crouch End in London.